Hi guys. So did you know that when you reject somebody that God sent, that's like rejecting God in itself? So in 1 Samuel chapter 8, it says that the elders of Israel, gathered together and they came to Samuel and they demanded basically a new king. At the time, Samuel was king, but he got old, so they wanted a new king like all the other nations. They didn't want Samuel's sons to be king because Samuel's sons, they went their own way. It said they gained it. It said they were dishonest, they took bribes, and they perverted justice. So they didn't want Samuel's sons to be king, and they didn't want Samuel king anymore because of his old age. So Samuel, he went to go pray. He went to go consult with God about the issues that they were having to God, and basically was just telling God, like, they want a new king. They want a king that they picked, basically, instead of me. So God has anointed Samuel to be king during that time. So after Samuel told God what was going on, God gave a word back to Samuel. He answered Samuel. And more of the story was they're going to get a king that they pick, and he's going to basically take everything from them, from the wives, from men, from children, from cattle, from resources. He's going to take everything from them, give it to his people, and basically make them slaves. Because it's a king that you chose instead of letting God choose for you. So Samuel, he received the word of the Lord, then he went back and he told the Israelites, what God said. And of course, they rejected it and said no, they want to be like everybody else and have a new king, like a younger king, and one not to go like fight for them like all the other nations. So two things that got me was basically, it was like, one, don't follow the masses. Just because everybody's doing something doesn't mean that you need to do it. If God gave you something or anointed you to do something, whatever case may be, stick to that. Even if everybody's not doing it, you don't have to follow the trend. Because 9 times out of 10, the trend is demonic, if you ask me. And then what the point I was really wanting to get at was in verse 18, it says, then you will cry out that day at the king that they chose, took everything from them. Then you will cry out that day because your king whom you have chosen for yourselves, but the Lord will not answer you on that day because you have rejected him as king. And what got me was because it's like they never said they didn't want God or Jesus, to be their king. They said they didn't want Samuel to be the king anymore. But because you rejected the one that God sent, it's like rejecting God. If God sent you a king and you say you don't want that, well, God, like, well, you're rejecting me because I sent you somebody who has a heart of flesh, not a contract heart, but he has a heart of flesh. He's willing to be obedient, to listen, to fast, to pray, to do as I tell him to do for the nation, because I know what's best for a nation that I created. You get what I'm saying? So basically, you saying that you don't want that, but you want a king that you choose, is saying like, saying that, well, God, you're not enough. And so yeah, I was going right to just even looking at yourselves. If God has selected you or chose you to go a certain place or for a certain calling, if people reject you, they have to understand that they're rejecting God. So don't take it personal. And I know it's a lot of times it's easier said than done, but life is spiritual. Don't take it personal. It's always attack against who you are spiritually, and the Holy Ghost is in you. It's altar against altar. So of course the demonic altar is always going to reject and come up and try to challenge the altar of God, But yeah, love you guys. Bye.